second consecutive year. KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
You ready?
Come on. It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers, with you Monday through Friday. It is Friday. Hey, all this freak talk. We are talking freaks today. FREAKNIK. If you have seen on our YouTube, well, welcome on in. It is Friday. I'm excited about that. It's always a good day, though. No doubt about it. Andy, shout out to my DJ A+. I feel like I can say that at this point. He's my DJ. Go DJ. That's my DJ.
I'll accept that. I accept that.
You know what? I appreciate your acceptance.
I be feeling like a DJ up here sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do. In the way, I'll promise you, sometimes I wish I could have a camera back there on Andy just to see how he vibes out, because it's only fair. That's only fair. Okay, well, it is definitely a good Friday. Happy Friday to you all. I hope you are getting ready to go into a wonderful weekend that is, good and chill and, relaxing and all those things. Well, before you do, though, we're going to enjoy this show. Again, I have an interview that I'm so excited to have on this show today. We've talked about this. I told you guys about that very thing, FREAKNIK, the wildest party never told. And so we are going to have the supervising producer from that documentary on the show today. I'm very, very happy about that. Let's get into some updates for you, though, really quickly. Kanye, this one is interesting. Kanye, he says he has issues with Jesus. He's got some problems with Jesus. He said basically all those times that he was going through things and praying, Jesus never showed up. And it's an interesting talk. We might actually revisit this next week, because the talk is, if you're praying for something, how much of it are you just relying on prayer for? How much do you just pray for? Or do you have to get to work? That is the question. Do you have to? I mean, the Bible actually talks about that, right? Faith without works is dead. So he's talking about his problems with Jesus because he prayed and things never happened for him. But he says when he took control of it, over all the things happening in his life, he made things happen. So what an interesting conversation. I don't know where he's going with that. I don't know if he's, saying something, that, I don't know where he is with his whole spirituality, issue. But I guess we will see. We will talk about that, of course, on the, probably next week. Also in in recent news, Jason Derulo, who is an artist, he's an R&B artist. He's gotten pretty big these days. Jason Derulo came under fire for stopping his performance mid-performance and taking a bathroom break. Yep, he did. Now this one I've never heard. He took a bathroom break mid-performance, and people had things to say because I'm not sure anyone has ever seen that. But whatever. He says his response is when you gotta go, you gotta go. So I'm not sure that I could be too mad at him about that. Anyway, I do want to go ahead and again I'm going to talk about the. Let's break down the Rob Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
As Andy already showed you, we are talking Freaks and Freaknik today, which is coming out on Hulu this month. Very, very excited about it. And I have questions surrounding Freaknik. I have never been. I wonder if you've been. Whether you are watching this right now, if you're coming inside of our Raw Squad, I see you. Deborah Chikoa, hello to you. Wherever you are with it, we're going to talk with Deshawn Plair, and I'm excited to have her here with us. We have more of that, this wonderful conversation that we will engage in on the other side. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Eric Bellinger hanging out right here with my family at The Raw Report. Keep it locked.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count pack.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580.
On your period, sudden gushes happen without warning. But now, you can say goodbye to stand-up gush fears, thanks to Always Ultra Thins with rapid dry technology. It absorbs gushes 2 times faster than the leading store brand and gives you up to 100% leak-free protection. Hello, clean and comfortable with Always Fear No Gush.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside The Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right. Wow. Yo, the weather in LA, the weather in LA is a trip. Yesterday, it was beautiful. Yesterday, we had, all kinds of sunny weather. And then all of a sudden, I'm driving here today and it starts raining and obviously the clouds. And I think there's, things happening. So if you are in Los Angeles, California right now, make sure that you are being careful. You are driving carefully and just, take care of yourself. Good to see you, Raw Squad, checking in. I see you. Thank you so much. Happy Friday to you all. But like I told you, I've been talking about this a while. You guys, we've had conversations about this. I'm so excited to have with me. She is a dynamic African-American female. Hello, shout out to Women's History Month. Female writer, producer, and director, and she is set to captivate audiences once again with the forthcoming Hulu documentary FREAKNIK, The Wildest Party Never Told, scheduled for release this month, you guys, March 21st. So that's literally next week. Please welcome three-time NAACP Image Award winning supervising producer Deshawn Plair. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome. Does it trip you out every time somebody reads your bio?
Yes, it tripped me out when I was just like, oh, I have to submit a bio. And I was like, wait a minute, how do I describe myself? And it was that. And I was just like, yeah, so it trips me out.
Yeah, I can never really write my own. I mean, I've tried before and it's just like, well, how do you say? But I guess that's your time to be, boastful and, put it all out there.
Yeah, I have a great publicist, so he definitely pushes me to, hey, big up yourself. So.
Definitely. Shout out to your publicist. We love him around here. Well, congratulations for this. It's making a lot of noise. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, just got back from South by Southwest, world premiering. So very, very excited about it.
Yeah, shout out to one of my entertainment contributors I have daily contributors on this show, but Miles Bloxon, who was there. And I know she partook in hosting the events of that day. And
yeah, she did the Q&A for both of the screenings.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she did the Q&A on Tuesday, and then she did the Q&A last night. Yeah. So I hopped back on a plane so I can get back here to do this show.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We are so happy to have you here. And yes, shout out to Deshawn for that one. What is your take? I mean, well, first of all, you said it was the premiere last night. What is everyone saying? Are you nervous or sitting back watching everybody,
Yeah, the whole team was there. So the world premiere was Tuesday, and then yesterday was our second screening, and watching the audiences and both audiences and seeing their reactions was just like, it was gratifying in a sense, because, the whole team was on pins and needles. The director, the showrunner, the other producers, we were all sitting there and we were kind of looking at each other, during certain parts and everything like that. So, we were so excited about it, and just, the audience was just like, we came in expecting one thing and we left with another, and that's exactly what we set out to do.
Oh, okay. So then that gives me something that I can maybe I can prepare myself for one thing that I think I'm going to see, and maybe on the outcome, on the other side of it, experiencing something else, perhaps?
I think so. I mean, look, I know a lot of aunties was nervous. Still should be.
Okay. Put it out there.
Just a tad. Mm-hmm. But this story is a very complex, well-rounded story. Mm-hmm. And I think people were just coming to see if they could spot their auntie, or if they could spot their mama or daddy, or, the whole situation. And then they left very informed. So,
I think we do have the trailer of this. We'll get to that in just a second, but I want to play the trailer because I think even in listening to it, obviously it's a visual, you can see it as well, but for the people who are just listening, you get a lot from it, and it does take a turn, midway through it takes a turn. You look, I'm definitely not, I know better, I'm not going to ask you your age, but you look a little young to be auntie. I'm going to assume you were never at FREAKNIK.
I was too young, and I did not go to FREAKNIK.
Do you know people? Do you have an auntie who was at FREAKNIK?
I don't have an auntie who will admit that she went to FREAKNIK.
Okay,
but I think she went. Okay, I can tell by the way she picked up something off the floor She participated. I could tell.
You can tell by the way
I can tell. But I'm gonna let her slide.
That's funny.
I'm gonna let her slide.
Now that is funny. That is really funny. I just wonder how many people and what. Well, first of all, let's get serious for a second. Okay. What is that, Andy? What I'm talking about? Just when I'm trying to get serious and ask a real question. That is funny. Good job. Do we have that trailer? Okay, let's listen to the trailer, and then I will ask my question on the other side of it. Let's take a listen to it.
Every generation has a moment where they come just to have some fun.
Atlanta's the mecca for black people in America.
It has multiple historically black colleges.
In the 80s,
we said, let's plan a picnic during spring break.
Let's call it FREAKNIK.
FREAKNIK was the greatest black gathering in America.
It was like an entry point into the black cultural experience.
To be able to be in the middle of the street, dancing, laughing, playing your music, it's a moment. The interstate, the highway, was a street party.
There wasn't even a word called twerking. It was just called booty shaking.
They weren't no social media, barely had internet.
During FREAKNIK, stars start coming in. You would see Tupac, Goody Mob, Outkast, Usher Raymond.
I'm having a ball out here.
I don't know what heaven looks like, but this seems like a version of it.
You was lit, okay.
The legacy of FREAKNIK is black joy, black self-determination,
black love, black excellence, black enterprise.
But the legacy of FREAKNIK is also the ugly side.
It started to get a lot more out of control. People were coming by the masses.
What the hell just happened? If you tried to bring back FREAKNIK, it wouldn't be what it was.
The streets, the people, the debauchery.
The things that I saw, insane.
We had no inclination to the depth that we were creating.
Them kids ain't know nothing about FREAKNIK.
Trust me, your mom and daddy got down.
Speaking of aunties, they said your mama or your daddy. Okay. As a supervising producer, can you just let us in on what that looks like? What was your part in Hulu's FREAKNIK, the wildest party never told?
Okay, so in simpler terms, I'm the writer. You know, so I wrote the film, but when you're supervising producer, you do some producing aspects, like with the creative team, and so there was a team of us, you know, with that. So, okay. But you can just simplify my thing and say I'm the writer.
Okay,
so, yes.
Wow, and that's powerful.
Yeah.
So back then, I don't know how, the production side of it works. I mean, nowadays, if anybody wants to go somewhere and they're going to be filming, they have to sign little waivers or whatever. I don't know what that was like back then.
It's not. So if you are in a public place and you're dancing, people have free reign. Yeah. And so, so a lot of people submitted, their footage. What we wanted to do on the film, we wanted to give people like an inside look. So we really wanted to give some exclusive footage. There's some that maybe was circling around on the internet a little bit, and then there's a lot that people have never seen.
Okay.
And so we're excited to, let people in, on this. And it's more than just a party. Mm-hmm, it's more than just a party.
Yeah, so, you can hear that just from the trailer.
Yeah.
Had you guys had anyone, you or your team had anyone reach out somehow, some way and say, please, if there's any footage of me, have you ever had that before? Please don't show me or anything like that?
So the director will tell tales of everyone reaching out to him like, look, if you see me, man, don't put me on there. And he said, everybody can get it. No. I think people were nervous about it, but at the same time, being that our showrunner is, a female, the writer was female, our producing team, majority of them were male. We wanted to balance it out, and we really wanted to do a tasteful, look at, this event. And so, like I said, I think audiences came in for one thing, and they left pleasantly surprised. Yeah. But like I said, you may see your auntie.
Yeah, and that's okay.
But it's not. But it is tastefully.
It's done in a tasteful way.
Yes, I do think that people can rest assured.
Yeah.
I don't think that they have to be shameful.
Sure,
or anything of that nature. Everyone was 21 before.
Yeah, I feel as though my thoughts. I had never been to Freaknik, but my thoughts are that from what I've seen or what I've heard about it. It wasn't that bad anyway. It just seemed like the guy said, he was like, the word twerking wasn't really around back then. It was just booty shaking. So from all the footage, it looks like that. Like there was just a lot of booty shaking. But if we can, I want to get to our caller, Fahima, who is calling in right now. Maybe has something that she wants to add to the conversation. Hey, Fahima.
Hey, greetings to you and your guest. I've had the opportunity to be in spaces with one of the co-executive producers, Uncle Luke, that I know that your guest there knows. But I just wanted to say, at my university, Howard, I've never been to Freaknik. However, at Howard, because of some of the incidents that had happened, the dean of the chapel instituted something called Spring Break, where we did things of service rather than going and getting into trouble. Because of some of the stuff that happened. Like, for example, what had happened in Daytona Beach. And, like, this year, in Florida, they're, like, trying to make things really very difficult for young people who are going on spring break. Yeah. And we shouldn't be wanting to deal with people who don't want to deal with us. But I'm looking forward to seeing the film and hearing more about it. Because I do know people that had went, but I never went. And by the time I had gotten to Howard, they had moved to a spring break that focused on service because of some of the stuff that has happened.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Very good insight. Thank you so much, Fahima. I appreciate the phone call.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with that being said, though, yeah, I mean, there's just so much inexperience. I know on this show we talk about a lot about what the current state of like the youth looks like. I'm always talking about, and I try to balance it out though, really, Deshawn. Like I try to say, you know what, I've been there in a way of like, I wasn't at Freaknik, but I've been to the parties. I've been to, we've done things. And nowadays we're looking at all the young rapper girls. We're looking at the females, and we're, everybody's just, it seems like they're wilding out, but maybe I'm looking at it like that because I'm an adult. From your perspective, and I'm sure you've gone through all the footage, you've heard all the stories. Yeah. Was it the same? Like, are we just paste the same type of thing, and should we not be tripping on this newer generation?
Yeah, look, the original intent for Freaknik was started by these 50 students who couldn't go home for spring break. So the earlier part was just wonderful, easygoing event. Then it turned freakier when Uncle Luke, in a sense, started to come and descend upon it. So then you saw different sides, right? So women are in the South, in a time, and so they're wanting to express themselves a little bit, liberate themselves. Mm-hmm. So I think it was on the beginning cusp of that. Okay. And then watching some of the footage, especially some, that was provided by Uncle Luke, it mirrors the this younger generation. So I do think the youth sometimes is like, well, I can't wait to see my auntie to see if she was doing that or she was doing that. So it does look very similarly. I think what it is like it was on the beginning stages of women feeling liberated and feeling like Left Eye was wearing the condom. You saw this, and women were being more free and wanting to be in their sexual exploration. So it was the beginning stages. Now I feel like it's full blown. So I think there's just different things of it. So I do think it mirrors itself, but I think now,
it's full-fledged out there.
I think it's full-fledged out there, where before it was like, we went and we expressed ourselves during spring break, or we went and we expressed ourselves, at this party or whatever, and you went out and you kind of did that. Now it's like maybe an every weekend thing versus like kind of going down every third weekend, in April and going to have some fun and wilding out. So I think maybe that's the kind of difference. It was like in the beginning stages of that.
You know what? That's so well said. I didn't even put it together that way. Whereas it seems as though what you're saying is that there was a balance at least at first, where we want to express ourselves, but you know what? We're going to go back home and we're going to,
Yeah.
And then nowadays it's more of a lifestyle.
Yes, it's more of a lifestyle. And then if you think about it, women in the South, right? These students that when they originated at the AU Center, like, you're in the South, so it was very much conservative.
Yeah.
And so, when you did, if you're free or if you want to wear some shorts or, and those types of things, some of your family members might have been like, whoa, or some people, you know what I mean? It's like you were away from home, you got to just experiment, but now it's very much so a way of life.
Andy, you wanted to get in?
Considering these were college students who kind of, started this whole Freaknik situation, I was curious to know if there was any, like, Divine Nine representation in this, like, if they were organizers or, just what was their influence?
So the original creators, you get to hear from some in the film, so that's really, really exciting, and we kind of get to go and hear about that. But yes, the Divine Nine had a very integral part at Freaknik. So it was started by the DC Metro Club, which was a state social club at the AUC Center. So it was comprised of students that were from Morehouse and Spelman and Clark. And so those students started it. And then as it grew organically, word of mouth, the Divine Nine would come, and all the Soros and they would, the bros, they're coming, and they were partying, with their sorority, sisters and fraternity brothers, and they were there, they were stepping, and and it was just so organic, and you get to see some of that in the film as well. So it was just such an organic time and pure in the early 80s, and it really was for college students.
Okay, hold on a second, because I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a history lesson here, and I love every part of that. Well, when we come forward, we will continue this conversation. We are in conversation with the great Deshawn Plair. She is a supervising producer or writer of Freaknik that's coming out this month, March 21st, that you guys can look forward to. We're going to discuss it all more on the other side. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You are listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on The Rob Report.
More of The Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A Michigan man is facing charges in connection to the defacing of a bathroom and predominantly black church more than 2 years ago. According to the indictment, David Bluer allegedly spray-painted the word "Die Swastikas" and graffiti on a Roseville church. Officials say he also spray-painted similar messages on the Trombley Park public bathroom in Warren. Bluer is charged with damaging a religious property, interfering with federally protected activities, and 2 misdemeanor hate crime offenses. Kansas City Chiefs teammates Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are entering into the restaurant business together. The Super Bowl champions are opening a steakhouse at the Lowe's Hotel in Kansas City. The restaurant will be called 1587 Prime, which is a combination of their jersey numbers. It'll span 2 floors and have hyper-subtle nods to their accomplishments on the field, according to hospitality group Noble 33. The restaurant will open early next year. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Keeping you updated with the latest from the 710 North in Paramount. Hard closure continues to be in place on the on-ramp from Rosecrans Avenue. And right now, there's no estimated time of reopening, but northbound traffic is still not affected. If you're driving out to Pomona on the 10 East between Dudley Street and Citrus Avenue, watch for a 40-minute traffic jam. Culver City's 405 North between Braddock Drive and Ventura Boulevard, watch for a heavy traffic delay over 45 minutes. And as you continue southbound in Carson before Avalon Boulevard, carpool lane is blocked with an accident involving injuries, and heavy traffic is coming from the 110.
If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A wonderful era in the history of Rams football came to an end Friday morning. Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald announced his retirement at the age of 32. Donald played all 10 of his NFL seasons with the Rams. He joins Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt as the only players in NFL history to win Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Donald is the Rams' all-time sacks leader with 111. The Chargers traded wide receiver Keenan Allen to Chicago for a 4th-round draft pick. The 11-year veteran had been with the Chargers longer than any current player on the roster. Allen was a third-round pick in 2013. The Chargers have the number 5 pick in the NFL draft in April. They need to use it on a wide receiver. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA, join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for Out of Bounds. You can join the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Iteris, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising@KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you, Black.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let me see you pop them things, shake them doodle brand.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. I can still do it all day, Andy. All day, Andy. Hey! He is back there jamming, in case you guys wanted to know. We are, if you're just joining us, welcome on in here. We are talking all things FREAKNIK, and I'm getting a whole, and you probably are getting a history lesson from Deshawn Plair, who is the supervising producer of it's FREAKNIK, coming on March 21st on Hulu. I am so so excited to see it, but I'm more intrigued now after speaking to you, because I'm learning that there are different aspects of this documentary. It's not just, okay, you want to see yourself, or you want to see whether you recognize somebody. There's actually history behind it. But by the way, Forrest Harrison over here in our YouTube chat says, Mama and Daddy don't look nothing like they did at Freaknik. No one's gonna know unless you telling them that's me. That's true. People look very, very different.
They do.
Yeah, we're talking years and years ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, there was a point in there, and thank you for reminding me, it's Shanti Das, who, she is an incredible person who has been really immersed in the culture and in hip hop for many, many years. And for those who don't know, she's just been around, and she was exactly, what did she do for, she was with LaFace?
Yeah, she was with LaFace Records, and she, attended the Freakniks, but she was, there on the street teams, marketing different artists, and even Outkast, was, some of their records were broken at Freaknik. And when their album was coming out, they were passing out sampler tapes, if you remember those little cassette tapes that had a minute snippet of like each song with that, to just kind of give everybody a taste.
Wow.
That street team was out there with LaFace Records, and Jermaine Dupri, So Def. They were all out there marketing and pushing their artists, because when is there ever a time where you're going to have 200,000-300,000 young people descending upon a city at a time? And so, it was like, marketer's dream.
Yeah, she made a great point, and you all heard it when she said it inside the trailer. She said if they ever tried to make another Freaknik, you basically could not replicate it. You could not duplicate what that was and what that meant to all the people. And I was telling you during our break that, I feel like everybody, if you couldn't make it to Freaknik, everybody wanted a piece of it. So you tried to recreate it somewhere, right here on Crenshaw. We had every Sunday, it was every Sunday, or if you went to Venice Beach, it was like every Sunday you wanted to go and hang out and try to have something like that of culture. Do you agree with that statement, that it can never be redone, even if because we are just in a different place in society now? Could it ever be redone?
I think people should tune in because we explore it in the film.
Oh, wow.
I think we do explore that in the film. I think people should watch and just kind of, once you see and you learn what it was in the history, then I think after that, people can kind of make their own determinations. But what I will say is Atlanta was the only place that could birth something like Freaknik, because it was the Black Mecca, and because it was like this hub. It was easy for all the students to get to from the HBCUs. It was easy for the people to drive straight from Michigan and to kind of do that. But we do explore it in the film, and I really want people to see it and then kind of understand, because I think if I make a statement now, people might, feel a certain kind of way, but when you watch the film, I think you'll understand.
Because I always say that audiences, no matter what we go to see, no matter what we view, whether it's a movie, you take your time. You go to the movie theater, or you stay at home, watch a TV show. You take time, watch an episode of something, or a documentary such as Freaknik. And we all want to leave with something. You either want to cry, you want to feel emotional, you want to be entertained, whatever that is. Do you feel like we'll get all the above with Freaknik?
I think it is going to be a roller coaster ride of emotions, because it's going to take you on a journey back in time. We started off in 1983, and then you'll kind of see it as it progresses. And the reason why I say 1983 is because that was the day, that was the year that it was started. And so a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people
didn't know that.
A lot of people think it was in the 90s, but it started in 1983. So just even the span, of it lasting from 83 into the latter years in the 90s was history in itself. And so I think it's going to take people on a roller coaster ride. They really are, because we're going to touch, we don't shy away from things in the doc. So the good, the bad, the ugly, all in between.
Yeah.
We do our best to try to talk about it.
It sounds like even people who are of an older generation still would enjoy seeing something like this, even if for nothing else, just the historical piece of it?
I think they would enjoy it because they're going to get to see themselves. They're going to get to reminisce on their youth. They're going to get to see the cultural impact that they're making today. And then we're going to show why young people like 21 Savage, like Lotto's, like all these younger artists, why they're so fascinated with it, right? And if it weren't for certain artists like Outkast and that, there would be none of these younger artists, you know, with it, and how this cultural event even helped shape hip hop in the South and gave the South an identity. So when, you know, Andre 3000 and Big Boy, when they won at the Source Awards and Andre said the South got something to say, I think that is a really amazing message, and that really correlates with Freaknik as well.
I'm so curious. How did this come together? How did this fall into your lap? How did you get involved? Where did it come from?
So the showrunner, Geraldine Porras, I'd worked with her on another doc. I worked on the We Need to Talk About Cosby doc that was on Showtime, directed by W. Kamau Bell. So I worked with her on that project. I worked with the director, P. Frank Williams, on Unsung and Unsung Hollywood, and also American Gangster Trap Queen. So I had worked with both the director and the showrunner. And Geraldine said, hey, I got this, you know, this project that I'm, you know, really passionate about, that I'm going to be working on. I want to pull you in to do the story. And I said, say less.
Say less. And now here it is, and we'll be able to, you know, partake March 21st.
Yes.
What is a little bit about your background, though? I mean, clearly you said I know you've worked with the showrunner and the director, but how did you even get into this industry, this field? That's always an interesting story for me.
No, so I grew up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I call it Calabama because even though it's in the Midwest, it feels so very South. And I was born in prison. I grew up in foster care, and so I really gravitated towards film and, you know, television. It was like an outlet for me. And so when I got old enough, you know, I was just like, you know, when I was in school, I was like, I'm gonna, you know, move to LA because I wanted to be in front of the screen, right? Like I had aspirations of acting and those different things. And so when that didn't take off for me or fast enough, in a sense, I said, you know, like, what's happening? So I was like, I'm going to go back to school and take classes and learn how to make opportunities for myself. And so I went back to school, and then I ended up getting an internship. And in my internship, you know, I met the supervising producer of the show Unsung, and now she's the executive producer of that. But before, she was supervising producer at that time, and I met her. And shout out to my hairstylist. That's how I met her.
Really?
Look, it's so it's
wow.
nothing but God.
Yeah.
And so she was like, hey, you know, do you want to intern, you know, here at this production company? And I was like, yes. And so I, you know, interned. I worked my way up from, you know, a coordinator. I was doing clearance. So I was working with clearing the music for all the different shows and the footage. And then I worked my way up to associate producer, then production supervisor, and so on and so forth. And so that was kind of my story. But I told her, like, look, I really want to tell these stories. I want to show kids who are in foster care, you know, who look like me, that if I can do it, they can do it. And so, you know, that's why I gravitate towards these stories that have edutainment. You can educate and entertain. So that's my story.
I know you deserve that. You deserved all of that. You deserved it. That's so powerful to me for so many reasons. And even us, I know you've worked all around and you've done a lot. I've looked at your background. I know you are very esteemed and all of that. But I think even the fact that we're talking about HBCUs and just like Black students, and, you know, obviously we know that students who go to HBCUs have varying backgrounds, right? I mean, they all have their own stories. They say Black people are not a monolith, and that's so true. But how much, you know, they would be able to identify with your story and how you've overcome. And so you try to sort of reach back with storytelling to reach them specifically. Is that your target?
I think I'm reaching just people in general who have a dream and want to go after it and feel like sometimes they can't obtain it. And then even for students who are HBCU students, you know, and they kind of go because there's this sense of community. For me, I didn't, you know, go to an HBCU, you know, right? I went to a community college and I went to, you know, PWI. And so when, when I did this project, this was my, I guess, I don't know, I was being immersed in HBCU history and culture, with that. But, everything I do, I want to do it for, in a sense, the least of these. Like I said, kids who grow up and, in these communities, black or brown, and they feel like, hey, they don't do any better because they don't see any better.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show that, hey, I came from the same situation. I'm doing better. See this, and there's a pathway for that. And then I want to tell the untold stories, and FREAKNIK is a part of that.
Definitely.
A lot of the other projects that I've done are a part of that. I love redemption stories. I love coming of age stories.
Yes, absolutely. So, oh, that's so good. Over here, you guys are having this conversation inside of our YouTube chat. Lavelle says, Sundays on Crenshaw were epic, never duplicated. That is a fact. Crenshaw was where it was at. I mean, we definitely tried to just live our best lives. And then Forrest says, I was there in the 80s, 90s. Very funny. When we come forward, I want to talk to you about, you mentioned something that is just so important. And while we have the time, I really want to sort of like hone in on that. And you talked about creating your own opportunities and way to tell your own stories. And you went back to school for that because again, so much has changed in society. Mm-hmm. People will pick up a phone like this and be like, what do you believe in that? I want to get your take on getting an education in something versus what we're able to do now. Everybody who has access to do things now. I really want to get your take on that when we come forward, though. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lil Rel Howery. Right now, you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. That's right, the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, welcome back on into our conversation. It goes by so fast. I'm having a great time just here talking with Deshawn Plair, who is the supervising producer of FREAKNIK that is coming to you guys on Hulu March 21st. I'm just learning so much about it. But on the other side, I was asking you about the creating our own opportunities thing, right? I mean, you went back to school and you said, I want to get more information and educated on how to, produce something that, my own projects. When nowadays, everybody is just being like, yo, I got this phone right here. And I want to shout people out. Creativity is fantastic, but everybody they have easy access to create on their own. What do you think about the two, the dichotomy of like traditional education versus, this?
Look, I think that traditional education is very important. But if you don't come from, a family that has means, or you may not have it to do that, student debt is a real thing. Yeah. And, Black and brown people are affected, 2 to 3 times more than their white counterparts when it comes to student debt. So if you don't have that, you can go to the school of YouTube. Take master classes online, take a business course online just to kind of understand that. Because I do think it's important to educate yourself, but we don't have to go the traditional routes. Trades are what's up right now. That's, you can go and kind of take a lighting class and do that. So, just be smart, be creative, and don't let anybody make you feel like because you didn't go to maybe an elite university that you're less than, because there's so many creative people that are out there that are doing it and that are doing it the smart way. So I'm a proponent of education in the way that you can get it. And then take that phone, get you a shotgun mic, and get it. Go to it. Okay?
You heard it from Deshawn. I love that. I love it. I hear you 1,000% because I'm all about that. YouTube University is where it's at all day. I will graduate. I will study on YouTube.
You know, excel, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right now, 78% of you guys say that you or a family member, the question was, were you or a family member ever at FREAKNIK? And 78% of y'all said no.
They lying.
I don't know.
Y'all, Robin said you wasn't there, but I think I seen you in some footage. No, I'm just joking.
You ain't gonna catch me out there. You ain't gonna catch me. That is funny. Well, so the question was, and this is what I want to, we got about 5 minutes left, and so maybe we can really kind of hone in on this. We talk about Black culture a lot, and shout out to Fahima. She says, shout out and much respect to the guest, Deshawn Plair. So you definitely shout out to Deshawn. Is FREAKNIK and what we are going to see a representation of Black culture? Everybody wants to know, how do you describe Black culture, especially because it's very hard to do so, because we're always talking about Black people have so many different experiences. We come from different backgrounds. How do you describe Black culture? Is that a representation of it, or how do you see it?
I see Black culture as creativity. I see Black culture as joy, like ingenuity. And so I do think that FREAKNIK was birthed out of necessity. So yes, that's a part of Black culture. I think that, even when you watch the film, you're going to see how, in the sense of Black culture, the fashion of it, right? You're going to see the music of it. You're going to see the hair, the cool hairstyles. Y'all remember those hair shows that y'all used to go to back in the day. You're going to see that.
Bonner Brothers, yes.
Yeah, and like really representation of that. So you'll see that culture. You'll see how people were getting their, the economics, is shown in the film. How people was getting their money on. They were making money in that. So Black culture is creativity, is ingenuity. Black culture is joy, and you'll definitely see that in the film, right? But there's also a negative side in a sense to that. And so I don't want to say, all aspects of the film is Black culture, because when you lean into the negative side, Black people and Black culture is not negative, right? And so, that's kind of in a sense how I would say, but I would say the film does represent the great and positive aspects of Black culture and what it was intended, because the original intent of Freaknik was a positive intent, for people these creative kids from the DC Metro Club, which is a social club, from the AUC Center, and why they created it. So, yes, that is a representation of Black culture and Black excellence.
Well, I love that. While we have a few minutes left, how did, because I asked this to actors as well, usually you take on a project and you learn something from the character that you play. Well, I'm assuming that all of the jobs that you've ever had and the projects that you've worked on, you take something from it. How has, working on Freaknik and every other thing that you've worked on in the past, how does that inform what you want to do in the future?
I think it informs, what kinds of legacies do I want to leave behind? So Freaknik was a legacy in a sense. Working on this project was a piece of my legacy in a sense, because it's a big cultural event in a sense. It was this big urban legend, and I got to be a part of telling a piece of the story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how much could you really tell in 90 minutes over 40 years?
Yeah.
But we did a great job. When I worked on my other projects, what do I want to leave behind? Did I entertain people? Did I educate people? Did I inspire people? Did I inspire myself? So I think all the projects that I work on, I just take a bit of it and say, hey, is this a legacy piece for me? And I just think about, am I doing stuff that I'll be proud of, in 20 years? So I don't think I have worked on a project yet that my older self 20 and 30 years from now will be ashamed of. And so I'm really glad with that. So that's kind of what informs me. Will I be happy about this in 20, 30 years?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful place to be. Well, Deshawn, Plair, everybody, I am so happy that you made the time to come to the show, to the station, and join me on the Raw Report. March 21st is the date.
Yes,
on Hulu.
And if you are on the West Coast, 9:05.
Okay.
Tune in. Okay, on the 20th, 9:05 p.m.
Okay, y'all heard it here. Y'all heard it here first. Thank you so much. Where can everybody find you, keep up with you, and what you've got going on?
On all the social media sites, X or Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. It's at Deshawn Plair.
Okay. Well, such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for the history lesson. Thank you for the laughs and all the things that you have brought. I'm truly looking forward to watching this documentary. And I'm gonna get at you. I'm gonna be in your DMs.
Hey.
You know what, Deshawn? It was really popping. I learned something. I felt edutained.
Hey.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll let you know when I do watch it.
Awesome.
You guys, I appreciate you so much. Raw Squad, I see you representing in our YouTube chat. You guys make sure you go ahead and like this, share it, whatever you got to do. All the things. All right. It's Friday. Go out there and have yourself a real good time. All right. I am your host, Robin Ayers, and remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A Michigan man is facing charges in connection to the defacing of a bathroom and predominantly black church more than 2 years ago. According to the indictment, David Bluer allegedly spray painted the word "Die Swatikes" and graffiti on a Roseville church.